Hello guys, Brad here again with another fragrance review. Today I want to talk about a fragrance from the house of Joe Malone, and this is Wood Sage and Sea Salt. This is a decant that I got from the Fragrance Decant Boutique. So once again, I'd like to thank those guys for being generous and hooking me up with some free juice here to review. This particular fragrance is classified as an aromatic and was released back in 2014. Note breakdown: we have ambrette seed, sea salt, sage, seaweed, and grapefruit. So, a few things about this fragrance that I know. Number one, I think it is considered one of their best-selling fragrances, so that's a good starting point, knowing that of all the fragrances that Joe Malone puts out, this is one of their best sellers. So definitely, just for that alone, worth checking out. I do know that most of the fragrances that they have are based off of the actual notes, like wood, sage, and sea salt, because of those notes. And there's other ones, and all the names of the Joe Malone fragrances are pretty much the same way. They just take a couple of notes in the fragrance, and that's what they call it. So simplistic names, and also this one has been given a lot of layering possibilities as well. According to Joe Malone, they recommend that you try it with other Joe Malone fragrances to give it a slightly different spin. I haven't tried any of those combinations myself, but if you do some research at Fragrantica-based notes or possibly the Joe Malone website, you might come up with some ideas for layering as well. So let me get on to the actual smell of this fragrance. When you first put it on, you get a pretty prominent dose of grapefruit in the opening. So grapefruit, citrus, clean, refreshing. But as the grapefruit starts to sort of dissipate a little bit, then that driftwood accord starts to come out. The woodiness here is from actually like a driftwood note, blended with a little bit of ambrette seed to give it a slight musky tone as well. And there's also supposed to be some seaweed in here, some sage, sea salt. So I think that just kind of blends with this driftwood to give it sort of that, woody, aquatic vibe. So that's pretty much it here. As far as sage goes, I don't really get like an herbal quality here. I do get grapefruit, woods, a little bit of a musky smell to it. So pretty much what you're going to get with wood sage and sea salt. I think they could have called this one grapefruit and driftwood, because that's pretty much what it smells like. But what I find interesting about this fragrance is that, I think with this fragrance, Joe Malone tried to come out with a nice, authentic, aquatic, but at the same time, they wanted something that was wearable. Now, if you've ever smelled Healy's Selmarin, you know that many people consider that to be one of the more realistic of the aquatic fragrances. But for some people, maybe it's a bit overboard, maybe too much like seawater, dead fish, seaweed, or whatever. This one, it's probably not quite as authentic as Selmarin, but definitely think it's more pleasant, and I think more people are going to find this one appealing than Selmarin overall. So if you're looking for a good compromise between the authentic aspects of Selmarin, but something that's not quite as synthetic as like Aqua di Gio or Cool Water, or even Pacific Rock Moss, which kind of has like a lemon drop quality to it. This one's one to check out. Just if you like your woody fragrances, a little bit of citrus with more of a natural beach-like aroma. I'm thinking along the lines of maybe like the Eastern Shore, the Atlantic Ocean, where you might get a lot of like woody tones along the beach, like you're walking along the boardwalk, like at Ocean City. Imagine you're down by the pier underneath the boardwalk, where a bunch of seaweed and the woody piers of the boardwalk are kind of blending in with the ocean air coming in. That's kind of what they're going for here. Because of the grapefruit, it doesn't smell like an authentic ocean air smell, but it certainly blends that grapefruit with that ocean air, so it makes it more wearable and kind of pleasant as well. So pretty good release from the house of Joe Malone, in my opinion. Let's get into some final scores, though. Smell, I'm going to give it 8 out of 10. one of the better aquatics out there, in my opinion. Authentic, a little bit different, but not too realistic that a lot of people are going to find it disgusting. Projection longevity. Now, a lot of people have mentioned this, and I concur. Joe Malone fragrance like this is not going to win many awards in terms of projection longevity. This is more of a fragrance that you wear for yourself, close quarters, people that just want something light, close to the skin, kind of blends with your natural chemistry, your natural sweat, I think, and just kind of gives you like sort of like that ocean air mixed with your skin type thing going on there. So 5 out of 10 for projection longevity. After about 30 minutes to an hour, you don't expect to get overwhelming feedback on this fragrance. Uniqueness, 8 out of 10. I like how they took the driftwood accord, blended it with the grapefruit. Gives it a nice, unique smell. Pretty much, can't really think of other fragrances that this really smells like. So, rather unique fragrance for an aquatic, where aquatics overall kind of tend to smell sort of the generic. Versatility, as the case with most aquatics, I would say not overly versatile in terms of like wearing it in cold weather. Definitely more of a everyday like spring summer scent, fall perhaps. I can wear it to the beach, wear it to work, but I think it definitely suggests that you wear it in warmer weather, not when it's snowing or really cold outside. So 7 out of 10 versatility. Price point is another iffy quality about this particular fragrance. 30 mLs, $65. 100 mLs, $135. So a lot of people are going to shy away because of the price point and the lack of projection. But overall, I'm going to give this one 7.5 out of 10. I think it's not quite bottle worthy, in my opinion, but definitely not a bad fragrance and definitely one of the better aquatic fragrances that I've stumbled across this year. So definitely want to check this out if you're a fan of the aquatics, especially if you don't like something too fruity, too floral. Want to focus more on the woody aspects of the aquatic tone and like a little bit of a muskiness from the amberette seed, but there's still grapefruit in here. So if you don't like grapefruit, you might not like this one, but I think the grapefruit does freshen it up a little bit. So that's my thoughts on Joe Malone's Wood Sage and Sea Salt. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you later.